Hi there, Alison here with another Cab Franc du jour. Today we are in Bourgueil and we're looking at the Domaine de la Butte 2018 Le Pied de la Butte, Bourgueil. The estate's proprietor, Jacky Blot, began his journey as a vigneron back in the 1980s with the purchase of the estate Domaine de la Taille in Montlouis-sur-Loire, and in a short period of time has established himself as a leading producer of Chenin Blanc in the Loire Valley. He branched into Cabernet Franc back in 2002 with the purchase of the existing estate Domaine de la Butte. It's located in the commune of Bourgueil in the lieu-dit of La Butte, which loosely translates to slope, and it's set back about 8 kilometers, which is 5 miles or so, away from the Loire River. The estate has 14 hectares worth of vines. They're all organically farmed, ranging in age from 35 to 65 years. And in this particular part of Bourgueil, we are dealing with a chalk bedrock that ranges in depth from 60 to 110 meters. This is 65 to 120 yards worth of chalk bedrock. That's a half to a full football field in terms of the length worth of depth of chalk. That's a lot of chalk. And the age of the chalk ranges as well. So depending on where you are, on the bottom of the slope, it's some of the youngest chalky soils. And then as you move up, the chalk sort of forms in layers, with some of the oldest chalk being at the top of the slope. In the case of this wine, this is Le Pied de la Butte, so pied meaning foot of the slope. So we are dealing with some of the youngest soils here, which is relative because the soils are still 30 million years old. And there is a decent amount of clay topsoil here as well. And the clay is important because the clay gives more energy to the vine. It allows it to produce grapes that have a bit more of a fruitier profile and a little less structure, which for this particular wine, this is the estate's sort of youthful or early drinking wine. So that clay is an important piece of why this wine is the way it is. It was all vinified in concrete with indigenous yeast, and it saw extraction through maceration. So there was no pigeage done, no pump overs or punch downs or anything like that. So let's give it a taste. 2018 was a relatively warm vintage for the Loire Valley. And I am getting some beautiful sort of sweeter fruits on the nose, like sort of red cherry. There's a bit of plum here. There's some blackberry as well. But it's coupled with a balancing kind of herbaceous undertone. The pyrazines come through like spot on with a little bit of sort of rosemary. There's some mint here, a little bit of cedar. But it's a nice mix between the fruit and then that sort of earthy profile. This wine is delicious. The fruit comes through beautifully, but it's actually a bit more earthy and savory on the palate than it was on the nose. The acidity is nice, lively, mouth-watering. The tannins come through at a nice moderate level. Very velvety in the mouth with a nice kind of chalky minerality on the finish. The wine is poised. It has some nice bones to it, but there's also this great sort of fleshy fruit profile that kind of envelops the structure of the wine, which I really like. There's also a nice kind of refined rusticity to the wine, which I don't really know how else to describe it, but it does have this kind of, there's something humble about it, but there's also a bit of polish here too, which I really quite like. It's a great introduction to what Jacky is doing in Bourgueil, and I look forward to tasting more of these wines in the future. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will be back again soon with another wine. Cheers.